Welcome, beautiful souls, to day 3 of the Divine Alchemy Masterclass. I am so excited and delighted that you have made it this far. First off, congratulations. It does take some staying power to participate in a class, a workshop, an activation. We often have like people are really excited at first and then life gets busy and engagement drops. And if you are here with us, thank you. Say hi if you are watching live on Facebook. Let me know that the comments are working. And please, of course, also just share your self and say hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. But we're calling everyone in the 0 point. So we're all going to be together and connected inside the now moment, which is what I love about technology. Right? It can connect us across time and space. Technology connects us in ways that were unimaginable back in the day. So I will be 40 in like 2 weeks-ish coming up here. And when I was a kid, the internet was in its infancy. And I remember feeling alone. And that is my favorite thing about technology is now we have these global communities, these ways of connecting all of you beautiful souls, all of us that are here resonating with these same truths, here to be magical, here to be the light, here to do some really cool shifts and changes on the planet, but by doing the work through us first and being an example of what is possible. All of the beautiful souls who have this soul memory of what the future can entail and how we connected can co-create it. We, instead of being so separate all over the globe, because we were planted in all of these places and spaces alone, to be, I don't want to say hardened, but to be tested, I guess, through the trials and tribulations of being a human, we have blossomed into these expressions that are now capable of connecting with each other all over, instantly, across space and time through the internet. So I am just sharing some love right now for Zoom, for Facebook. Like, I know social media is fraught with problems, but the fact that we can connect in this way, I don't want to take it for granted because it hasn't always been this way. We could connect in the ethers, we could connect in the astral, we could connect in meditation and in our hearts, but we can see each other and feel each other. So good morning, hello, good evening, whenever you are. We are going to talk today about staying in the flow, embodying your soul frequency, and also making this like mystical stuff that we're talking about, the soul and love and light, how do we make it practical? Because if it's not practical, what is the point? I called myself a soul embodiment guide when I came into the digital realm, and I was moving from being an in-person movement arts coach and facilitator and performer into being a digital teacher, coach, course creator, mentor, whatever you want to say. English words are never quite the right thing, right? But you're supposed to have a title. And so I called myself a soul embodiment guide, which was so clear to me. And then I met all of these people who were like, what's that? What does that even mean? It's so airy-fairy. Like, what does that even mean? And so I actually even changed it for a little while because I was like, oh, nobody gets it. Embodiment. People will be like, what does that mean? I'm like, take the 2 words, put the soul in your body. Isn't that obvious? Right. But now embodiment is actually a buzzword, at least in the circles that I am running in. Embodiment, I want to define, because as we looked at yesterday, words can have different operational definitions. And if we're not talking about the same thing, our communication's either going to go like this, or we're going to be like 2 ships and going like, and like missing each other's point. Or there's also times where people will slam into the point and not see it because they're not defining the words in a way that actually makes the implicit explicit. So explicit, and when it's like out there on the table, and implicit is like the assumed. And so many times in our communications, we wind up with misunderstandings and friction, which is the opposite of flow, right? Because our implicit biases and our implicit assumptions and all of those things and definitions are different than the person we're talking to, the person we're connecting with. And so then the communication is not flow, it's friction. It's like a romantic comedy from the 90s and 2000s, where someone would only hear a piece of it, where they would hear a little piece of something from their wounded place and then go, oh, this person, is actually somebody who hates me instead of might actually be my soulmate, right? And then there's all of the misunderstandings that could have been avoided if people just shared explicitly what was true for them. And so we're going to speak about that. We're going to speak about embodiment. We're going to speak about taking the flow that we've talked about and the alchemy to sustain it as much as possible. And I'm so excited for all of this. So let me know as well where you are zooming in from, if you're in the comments. And I just love to imagine, as we did on day one, all of these different pillars of light that are making these beautiful connections and flow throughout the planet. Nothing brings me greater pleasure than to know that we are planting these seeds throughout the world. And the earth loves it too. So, embodiment. Actually, I'd love to hear your definition. So if you are watching, tell me, what do you think embodiment means? What, if you were to describe it to somebody, what would it mean to you? Because I think it's really important for us to also examine our implicit assumptions, definitions, biases, all of those things, so we understand ourselves fully and the lens and the glasses through which we are looking at the world, right? It's really important. The beliefs that we have, the thoughts that we think, the feelings that we have, the woundings, the traumas, the dramas, all of these things are not innate in us. They have been placed there into our field, and they are flexible, movable, they can change, but they create our perspective for how we see the world. Right. Ooh, Hope is saying, showing up fully in the learning and wisdom that I know, but in the body, the whole being. I like that. I like that. Showing up fully in the wisdom that you know. That is definitely a big part of it. When I am talking about, I guess I'm going to go all the way to talk about soul embodiment, because embodiment is like having something literally in the body instead of just in, say, the mind, which is where a lot of us operate from. But embodiment of the soul for me is where we stop being these separate spheres of having a mind, having a body, having a heart, having a soul, having an ego, having an energy body, all of these things being like these separate cogs in the machine that makes us up, the organic machine. And soul embodiment involves clearing out enough space in the physical body for our soul, our spirit, our unique essence, that thing that makes us up in all of our multidimensionality, to have enough space to come and actually be inside our form instead of something that we might consider out there or up here, right? Soul embodiment can only happen when we have excavated, dissolved that stuff, that resistance to whatever it is inside of our beingness, and made enough space for our soul to actually live and breathe and inhabit our body. And then we get to move and create and breathe and speak and dance and play and create businesses and things like that from this place of no longer being separate from our self, right? From all parts of ourselves. It involves alignment, right? Body, mind, heart, soul, all of that, being able to move and live as one, which is basically in flow state, because this alignment allows the flow of energy that is sometimes separate if it's encountering those pockets of resistance, if it's encountering vortices of like density in our body that's throwing things off and keeping parts of ourselves separate. It's allowing those all to flow, which is why divine alchemy is the key, right? Being able to transform and transmute the densities, which I know you already know how to do, right? We talked about that on day one. And to do it not only after the fact, but to do it as it's happening, to be consistently creating space in our body, mind, heart, and soul as we move, as we go, as we grow, right? It is a constant process. It's not something that is like a one and done. Soul embodiment, finding your flow, the alchemy, all of these things are consistently necessary, which can be annoying because you could be like, I've done the work. I've done the work. It should be done. I really like to think of it more akin to doing the dishes, right? You're going to eat again. So you're going to need to do the dishes again. And that could be overwhelming, but the possibilities and the potentials that are available to us when we consistently use our alchemical tools of transformation, transmutation, dissolving, extracting, purifying, cleansing, releasing, all of those things, when we use them on a consistent basis, and we are able to then live with that divine alignment and then the flow of not having the resistance in our physical body to the energy that's moving through us and to our own energy, then we can basically be in our creator state, right? As a creator being. And if you didn't know you were a creator being, this is what you are. You came here to create. And I don't think many of you would have a trigger to that, but I have said this in the presence of people before who go, but I'm not creative, so I'm not a creator. And I'm not talking creator like on the internet. That's not the kind of creator I'm talking about, but you are this fractal of the infinite creation energy of like the unified field and consciousness and the all that is. This fractal being who came here to experience creation as a human, right? To create and grow and learn and experience. And creativity in this sense, as a creator, is not just visual arts, it's not just fine arts, it's not just making content on the internet. We can let go of all of those operational definitions, which again, it's really important that we speak into like what we're actually talking about here, because I could say you're a creator being, and they might go, I do post online on Facebook. Yes, I am a creator. And someone else might go, no, I am not creative at all. I'm like an engineer analytical type person, so I'm not a creator. You have the capacity in you to create moments in time, connections with people, expressions of your voice and your soul energy. Whatever you do in life, whenever you take an action, it is the action of a creator. And the level to which we have our soul embodied, right? The level of clarity we have, the level of alignment, the level of flow, the level of connection that we have with all parts of us is going to shift and change your experience of creation. Pockets of density, right? Those beliefs, the traumas, the old wounding from the Akash, the ancestors, whatever it happens to be from the childhood, from the collective, those things get in the way of our creation power. And I really love to talk about creation specifically because right now, manifestation is the trendy thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there are a lot of things wrong with how the conversation goes and a lot of distortions where the power is given away. And I think when we really speak to ourselves as creator beings, as beings who are able to create in every moment, we're giving our power away to life. But I really want to also share this one fine tuning of the frequency of how I'm speaking. When I say you're a creator being, I really mean co-creator. And I don't always say that. So please, from this point forward, if you hear me talk about you are a creator, I mean a co-creator, right? You are not a creator. And there's this distortion sometimes around like, you're creating your reality. Yes, and you're not the judge and jury and creator of every little thing in here because you're not the only one here until you zoom out far enough. And then, yes, sure, that's true. But in our human experience, you have other people in this game with you who are playing this out. There are other forces at play. There is nature, there is history, there is the flow of all of creation. So when you think of yourself as a co-creator, there's this new energy that comes through. And that energy, can you feel it? Is the energy of the flow, of moving with the currents of life. Because if you claim, like, I am a creator and I'm in charge of everything in my life, it can slip into this piece where you're fighting with reality, where you're creating all kinds of resistance in your being to what is and what's going to happen. Because I'm sorry, you're not in charge of every little bit of it. And if you thought you were, because that's a story that some kind of new age spiritual person has told you, that you are completely in charge of every single thing, that is a distortion of the truth. Okay? You are here to co-create with. You are here to narrate your own story. You are here to flow with the rest of all of creation, all of the people, all of the places, all of the spaces, all of the energies, past, present, and future, and dance with it. But you are in charge of your perception. You're in charge of your responses. You're in charge of your own experience of this reality. And from that experience and your response, you can co-create with it. But when we put too much thought of power into our hands, like we create every last drop of it, it can create some weird tension. It can create some like victim shaming and blaming. It can create these weird rifts in our subconscious. So how does that feel when I'm saying to you, you're a creator, yes, but you're co-creating. And the highest potential comes when we learn to flow with instead of resist and fight against all of this. Take a deep breath in here and land with me in your heart space. This is how we make it practical. How do we co-create with reality, right? One of my clients, beautiful, beautiful woman named Laura Delfour, and she said I could share this, says the piece I was missing to consciously bring through were the frequencies that feel good to replace what I was clearing out when she was doing a bunch of healing and alchemy work. She was doing all this clearing, and I said, yes, and now you've got this void space in you. What do you want to have in there instead? So here's the thing, and I'm going to quote Matt Kahn, actually, who always says the things that I'm thinking in more beautiful words. My soul brother. So if you just keep clearing and clearing and clearing and clearing, you just become the cosmic janitor. Because the space inside you, that void space that you've cleared out, is going to get filled up one way or another. So this is the next level of embodiment is doing your clearing work, doing your alchemy, doing your healing practices, your dance, your breath work, whatever it is that you do to clear your stuff out. How do you take it to the next level, right? It is to create that space in you for the flow, and then for you to consciously choose the frequencies that you're going to bring in, that you are going to play with. And choosing them, you can do from the mind level, you can do from the heart space, you can do from, your intuitive space. But when you are in the flow, it's so much easier to tap into this beautifully aligned energy with your highest self, right? And go, what do I want from this place of lack, but what am I here to bring through? What is my true energy, right? It's all wrapped and weaved up in this soul embodiment space. And I bet you've done this before, where you've been in a meditation and you feel it, and you're like, I am love. I am one with everything, and it feels so good. And I'm here to co-create and flow and dance with life. Or I'm here to bring healing. I'm here to be vibrancy. I'm here to support with health, right? I'm here to support the maternal lineage, right? You have these understandings that come through when we're in this flow. How do you live it? How do you be it? How do you stay in this flow as much as possible? And so yesterday I showed the video of my hula hooping. And I had spent many more than 10,000 hours inside of my hula hoop when that video was taken. So I have a level of mastery, even though I barely hula hoop anymore, I can still pick it up and do wild things because I have that mastery. And I was asking people, how do you guys think I got so good at it? How did I develop that mastery? Right? It was through study, practice, having mentorship, community, right? Inspiration, but also having somebody kick my butt and showing up even when I didn't feel like it. Having like classes that I would take and that I would go to with the mentorship, with the community, with the inspiration, with the butt kicking to remind me that even if I didn't feel like it, I could practice, right? Because when we are left to our own devices, we will take the path of least resistance, right? The flow. But sometimes the flow through the path of least resistance is going to take us to something that is like maybe not exactly where our soul would go. So there are different fine tunings that we can do, because we can follow the flow of what our body wants. We can follow the flow of what our mind desires, or we can follow the flow of our soul, which is where our highest timeline and most expansive expression comes from. Because I want you to be honest with me. If you are following the flow of just what your body desires, are you always going to be as disciplined or as consistent as you need to reach the places that your soul is saying, hey, let's go. You have big things. You've got big dreams. You're here to do something great. You've got a business to do. You've got these beautiful creation opportunities that are going to help humanity. If you just followed the flow of your body and only your body's flow, would you get there? Maybe. If you followed your mind's flow, would you get there? Or could you possibly get sidetracked by all kinds of things, right? If we follow the flow of the body, if we follow the flow of the mind, sometimes it goes off. I'm seeing this there's the soul flow connected to the North Star, the big river that wants to flow with all of the energy. And then there's these tributaries and streams that will take us off on a side quest, maybe to the couch and Netflix, instead of the practice and the discipline that are required to go where your cosmic trajectory, your highest calling, your highest timeline, your hopes and your dreams and your goals can be. So can you see how following the flow can get a little tricky, especially if people still have these pockets of density and tension and traumas and dramas and belief systems that say, you can't. All of those pieces of density can redirect the flow to somewhere less than your soul wants you to go. And let me know. I'd love to know in the comments, have you ever felt like you have gotten off track from what your actual soul desires are, your actual dreams are, and followed this flow that maybe went downhill instead of like up the hill climbing the mountain, to mix metaphors? So no, I certainly have, right? It's really easy to get sidetracked and for us to come into a place and space where we are not actually doing the things that are going to bring us to that place that our soul vision, our fuck yes mission, the one that feels too big almost, that place, yeah, it's so easy to get sidetracked. Beliefs that I can't, other things, woundings, traumas, all of that stuff. Maybe you even have been telling yourself, I don't know how. I don't know how. And then you just kind of either like get stuck behind, I don't know, some kind of, I'm trying to think of a river metaphor, behind a dam. You get stuck and you're like, I don't know how, so I'm just not going to, and you don't go any further. There is this need for the consistency, the study, the practice, the discipline, which I know is not a very sexy word, right? And if we want to go at full speed, examples of what is possible, mentorship or teachers, communities that can help us when it's feeling hard to just surrender to the flow, right? And we have that resistance. We can't do it all ourselves. And if we're trying to just motivate ourselves, some people maybe are great at doing that, but it's pretty widely known across communities, across, you know, all kinds of different places and spaces, that if we have a goal and a dream, if we just try to accomplish it by ourselves, then like maybe we'll get there. People require community, mentorship, teachers, practices, discipline, showing up even when we don't feel like it, right? And so this isn't a whole conversation about like feminine and masculine energetics, but there's also a lot of talk right now about divine feminine and divine masculine energy. And I think when we are really talking about coming into the alchemy, it's to weave both of these things together. And there's so many different ways to conceptualize of these. And this is not talking about gender or sexuality at all. Divine feminine and divine masculine are two energetic forces that together are whole and complete, right? The yin and the yang, the all of it. We require both, right? So I just kind of feel like in this metaphor that we're speaking of, the flow that we desire, the masculine is like having the systems and the structures and the practices and the containment, like riverbanks that are allowing the flow to continue, right? If a river doesn't have banks, it's actually just a lake, right? It just has this like or an ocean or a pond, and it doesn't have that directionality to hold the flow and the current. So I know for myself and in my clients and witnessing all of these people who feel like they're here to do great things, who have a vision and they want to bring it to life. They want to expand their business so that they can have the freedom and abundance to do amazing things here on the planet. Because I know you have codes and keys about things you want to create. I know all of that. I know you're here because of that, because you have something magical inside you that is a seed that's ready to come out into the world, and you need money to be able to have the resources to let it grow and have the impact that it's here for you to have. The people that actually accomplish these things, they have the discipline, they have the community, they have the investment in themselves on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, annually basis, right? They invest in their physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. They put in the work consistently, and they put the practices in. They put the practices and routines and structures that don't have to be rigid. Don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for rigid structures, but they have the practices on a consistent rhythmic basis. And that is actually what takes them from where they are to where they want to go. That is how they are able to continually make space for that soul to come and be inhabiting in their body, because you can get there. And Nicole was talking about yesterday how she had a little nap and then she woke up again. And she was talking not physically, she was talking about it in spiritual terms. Because what can happen is we can like reach this level of awakening because we cleared out enough density that our soul can come and like be in our body. And then if traumas and stress and things happen, circumstantial illness, like all of that stuff comes, and we don't clear it and we don't do the alchemy, then it can literally eject our soul from our body, and we can have this experience that Nicole has where she went back to sleep and she was like, you know what, screw everything. All of this, like, oh yay, life is great stuff where we can do whatever we want. Bullshit. Like, she had that experience and I got to witness her in that. And I could feel that it was temporary, right? But I had that vested interest in going like, come on, let's clear some stuff out so you can return to that most radiant soul, Nicole, that she is and was and shall always be, right? We have these experiences, but we need to cultivate the practices to have the space in our flow consistently. Otherwise, it doesn't stick. Hope you were asking, can I put that quote in the chat? But that was 10 minutes ago. Sorry, I didn't see that one that you said. So I don't know what quote you're talking about. Sorry. But if you let me know, I can. The quote by Matt Kahn. Oh, I'm not going to type it because my keyboard will make a bunch of noise, but it is that if you just keep clearing and clearing yourself without putting anything in, and this is a paraphrase, by the way, not the direct quote, you will just wind up being the cosmic janitor. And you will just clear for everybody and everything. And that is what a lot of light workers and people who are here to be of service will do. We'll just clear and clear and clear. And we take on everybody else's stuff and clear it for them. And you know what? The time to do that was the old paradigm, and the energy has shifted because now the service contracts have ended, where that was how we advanced our soul spiritually. And now what we get to do is to be an example of what is possible. And that is actually a much more profound way of being. Is to embody the possibility and to do it for ourselves, not for other people first. Because there's also this switch into us growing up and becoming more spiritually mature, where we can let people have their own journey and not try to take the journey away from them and do it for them, right? So I have this aversion to calling myself a healer, even though, yeah, I'm an energy healer. I have healed my own energy. I have done so much work with other people, but I don't do it for people is the thing. And I have this ick about anybody coming to me and going, heal me, because I'm like, no, but I will teach you how to heal yourself, right? And this is such a paradigm shift and energetic distinction about the work that I am here to do, because I'm here to help the leaders, right? Help the leaders, the visionaries, the people like you that are here to be world changers. And I'm here to support you in fine-tuning your own energy and being the alchemist and fine-tuning your tools. And in my one-on-one sessions and my masterminds and my group clearings, I will go and I will hold space and I will show you how, but I still won't do it for you, but I will be there with you holding the space. So this is a bit of a digression, but I think it's important because that is the embodiment now, right? That is my other piece of this soul embodiment that I think is so key for us right now. It's the so that. Why do you want to embody your soul? Why do you want to do this alchemy? Why do you want to tap into the flow? And truly, if you're here to like help the world, heal the world, change the world, like just be an example of what is possible. And let that example ripple out. And then everyone gets to do it for themselves with your support, with you holding space, with you being a guide, but you not doing it for them, because you doing it for them, if I were to do any of this for you, it takes away your competency, your power, your agency. It infantilizes you. And right, like it's kind of emasculating, actually, right? Like to our divine masculine. Because it says you can't do it, so I'm going to do it for you, which is that wounded or like the toxic masculine, the patriarchal structures, right? That say you can't, you don't have any power here. And the soul embodiment piece that I love sharing with you is about reminding you of your power, right? Your power comes from the structures and systems that are able to hold your flow. So I was just saying, I reframe discipline like this. It comes from disciple, and a disciple is devoted to something. So for me, discipline is to be devoted to something. Yeah. And devoted to something is easier than what this next level is for many of us, especially the mothers and the healers and the helpers and the people who have been here on earth and had these service contracts for a long time, where we are devoted to helping, devoted to healing. And see, I'm going like this because it's to others, and the next freaking level that you are at in your process, and you're at varying levels of it, and we're all still learning. I'm not perfect at this myself either. It is to devote ourselves to our own self at the highest level, and tapping into the reciprocity that is required, right? Which also supports us in being able to open up and receive abundance, which then allows us to create and have the impact that we desire to create, right? It is hard for us to go, I am worthy of the devotion that I show everybody else. And even if we can pay lip service to it and go, oh, I know if I fill up my cup first, I'll be of better service to others, because then I can serve from the overflow. I know you know that. I know you've heard the oxygen mask first story. I know you've heard that. But there is a next level of it, and then another level of it, and then another level of it. And this is the energetic shift when you are a soulpreneur, a heart-driven entrepreneur, anybody who's in service to humanity. We have to rewrite the old paradigm, and we're doing that right now, but it's so difficult because we're literally rewriting a paradigm that used to be in place, that you had to be of selfless service. But now, when you are in service to self first, so that you can be in that overflowing place. That is you having the room to be in that divine flow always, and you're more effective, you're more attuned to possibility, you're more potent, you're more powerful. It is the next level for you to cultivate the devotional discipline to your own practices. It is the next level for you in terms of abundance, clarity, intuition, having breakthroughs in terms of the money, the profitability, the currency that you can hold in your body, all of the capacity for your nervous system to hold more clients, more experiences, more adventures, more magic, more love, to be able to grow, to hold more divine flow of your entire beingness requires this discipline, this study, this practice. All of this, it's available to us. And we're going to do a visualization in just a few moments of what it feels like to be in that flow and to hold more and to have the clear space and capacity to do this. But I'm curious if many of you have heard of the Tao of Water. And this is a really fun thing for moms to talk to about their kids, as well as to use people in general. But I asked my daughter yesterday, because I just felt like it would be a fun teaching for her. I was like, hey, Charlie, what do you think is more powerful and stronger? A boulder, a big rock, or water? And what do you think she said? What do you think a 6-year-old would guess? What's stronger, water or a big immovable boulder made of compressed earth weighing tons? Yeah, all the kids are going to say rock. I said, do you remember pictures of rivers and like the Grand Canyon? Have you seen the Grand Canyon? She's like, yep. I was like, do you know what actually happened there? That was water flowing through, and it carved out solid rock and earth and dirt. So if you have a big boulder sitting in the middle of the river that is so immovable by force, you can't shove it. I mean, maybe enough force, the Hulk, a crane, but like our little human could not move this giant 2-ton boulder. But water, not trying to shove through it, but flowing around the boulder. Just flowing around it, going this way or this way, not fighting with the boulder, literally just flowing around it, will wear that boulder away to a grain of sand over time. And so the Tao, the force, the flow of creation is like this. It is infinitely powerful given time, right? The flow moving around the obstacles is more powerful than trying to shove at them and forcefully move them in just a different way, right? The flow is you in your most powerful dance. And this is the other thing about this new paradigm that we're going to be living in, that we are creating right now as we speak. The old paradigm prioritized force to get things done, right? And the new paradigm is moving with, co-creating with, dancing with, flowing with, and introducing energy and allowing people to take it or leave it, right? So all of you coaches, creators, teachers, healers, mothers, and everything like that, I just want you to really feel the power in this. You can try to force your teachings, your help, your way upon people, your kids, your students, your partners, your husband, right? And make them take it. And you know what they're going to do? When a force meets a force, they're not going to dance. They will fight, and there's going to be push and push back and resistance and push against. That is the old way of doing things, right? The new opportunity. And this is like new and ancient, right? This is not new ideas I am presenting. I'm not going to take them as mine from the Tao Te Ching, written thousands of years ago, from the ancient Vedic texts. All of this is like being reawakened into our current culture. It is the flow and introducing something and just being an example of it. And if someone asks for your help, you go, awesome, but I'm instead of doing it for you, I'm going to show you how you can do it. Again, this is not new. This is the teach a man to fish versus fish for him, right? Ancient wisdom. This is for mothers out there going, I could either, do it for my kid every single time, or I could invest a little more time in teaching them how, and then they get to do it forever, right? It's that upfront investment in shifting the paradigm. And then it empowers people, our students, our children, our partners, right? So there's a very different energy, and it's this dance, right? This flow that is available to us. But in order for us to even have the energy, let's just call it, to be in flow, like the availability to the flow, we have to have done the alchemy work, the healing and dissolving of our triggers and things like that, because I guarantee all the moms will be able to follow this. But if you are tired, if you don't have the energy, if you are just hanging on, if you are full of energy, or you're exhausted and you're not filled up to overflowing yourself, it takes too much time and too much energy to teach someone, and you just want to do it for them so you can get it done. And I'm not saying there aren't circumstances, especially in parenting, when we sometimes you just have to do it because you need to be somewhere, right? But when we cultivate the devotional discipline to study and practice the alchemy of being able to transmute things in the moment as well as when they come up, right? As well as all the past stuff. We can notice when we're getting into that push against energy, getting into the forceful energy, even the I'm right, so you should fight against energy, right? But when we are able to notice and be aware of things because we have practiced, then we can use our tools in the moment to go back into the flow. And so we cultivate this in two ways. One is doing the practices as we need them, as like triggers arise, right? You're noticing yourself being irritated in the moment, overwhelmed. Let's even say by technology. You're trying to go live on Zoom. Let's take my yesterday example into Facebook, and it's not working, right? You could get into the activated nervous system, all of that, and then you need to use your tools in the moment. Ooh, Sprava, calm blue ocean, and take it down, right? We can do that, and we can react, right? And then go, okay, now I need to get in there and do that alchemy and do that healing work. But here's the next level. It's to cultivate daily, weekly, monthly practices for yourself that are going to get you to be in that space as your baseline. So when stuff comes up, you're already in the flow. You are already embodying that energy. You are already able to respond and dance with life. And this comes from not just doing things reactionarily to heal what has been, but to set yourself up prophylactically with the studies, with the practices, with all of that we know we need. So let's take a moment and actually do a visualization. And when I say visualization, if you're not someone who visualizes and sees it, let's call it an imagination, an activation. And let's just let the flow move through us. So I'm going to invite you to just say, if you are ready, ready. And as you're getting ready, it'd be ideal if you can find a place where you can close your eyes and sit for a moment. If you need to come back on the replay to do this part and actually go in, that's fine too. The water. Beautiful. As you're getting ready, find a place where you're free to close your eyes, as long as you're not driving, as long as you're not doing something, right? Be safe. And come back to this if you'd like. So connecting in, closing your eyes if you're able to, and taking a few breaths with me. We did this on day 1. In through the nose, pull the energy up through your root and belly, and blow out through your mouth. Beautiful. Breathe in again. Imagine air coming up through your root and your belly up to your heart space. Blow the candle out through your mouth again. Deepest breath yet, through the root, up through the belly, up through the throat, into the crown. Blow the candle out even more slowly. Take one last deep inhale, deepest breath yet. Imagine air coming all the way up through your root, all the way up through that central column and up and out through the crown of your head. Hold it for a moment, hold it, and then sigh it out. Oh, beautiful. Here, let's just call in a sacred space and reactivate that beautiful place from yesterday, day 1, actually, 2 days ago, where we felt so aligned with the earth. So with your intention and imagination, dropping a cord all the way down into the earth until you feel aligned with her core. Beautiful. And imagining the cosmos, imagining the stars, and then going beyond that. And imagine a beautiful light from your highest self or from source itself coming down through your crown, all the way down, down through your heart and into the earth, all the way through you. So you get to be this living bridge of this flowing energy. And we're inviting in all of our team here to support us in an expansion of this divine alchemy. And we are coming into a place and space where we are going to feel tangibly, viscerally, physically supported by our team of light. Named and unnamed, known and unknown, all of the beings from all of the places and spaces that are here to support you in creating more space for your soul to land in your body and dance with you and co-create with you all of those things that are on your heart to create, to do, from this place of being aligned with all of you. Deep breath in, sigh it out. And I want to now invite in the element of water. And I want you to imagine a beautiful cloud, like a cloud full of water, deep gray, dark cloud, perhaps even a storm cloud that just starts to rain. And the rain falls down over you. And you have this beautiful open column through your spine that goes from the tip top of your crown all the way down to the earth. And the rain pours through you. And the rain becomes a torrent, almost as though you are standing underneath a waterfall. Oh, and some of you just flipped to waterfall. Beautiful. Being under that waterfall, we invite this beautiful water to flow through us using its power of love, to clean and clear our emotional body, as well as our mental and physical and spiritual bodies, cleaning out everything that feels like it is dense and heavy and sticky. Last time we were in this visualization, we had that density flow out from us, out through the bottoms and soles of our feet. But this is asking water itself to flow through us, to clean and clear all of that icky, sticky density, right down to the cellular level, washing everything away that is complete, that no longer has a need to stay. We are moving into a new time, a new place, a new paradigm, and new way. And we're in the window of a beautiful Sagittarius new moon as well. A beautiful time for, once we have this clarity, to connect in with our highest vision for what we want to create and teach and share with the world. And all of those other beautiful things that are within you align with your highest timeline and cosmic trajectory. So I'd like you to take a moment now and just from this place of spaciousness, ask your heart, your highest self, your soul, to share with you a frequency of beingness that you would like to be moving forward for the next few weeks towards the end of the year. Frequency, an emotional word, a frequency like love, peace, contentment, expression, magic. What word comes through for you? And this word, I want you to imagine this word and imagine a time where you have either felt this word or imagine a time when you would feel like this word. And I want you to bring that sensation, that memory into your heart. When did you feel that before? And expand the memory of that sensation through your body, through your chest cavity, through your arms and legs, your fingers and toes, your head and neck. And be it now. You don't have to wait. Embody this frequency right now. Beautiful. You're doing great. And now imagine that word is actually coming down through you and landing underneath you. And it's actually creating this beautiful magic carpet. Oh my goodness. Or perhaps a raft. Something that will allow you to sit back and relax. And right now we're going to go for a ride on this frequency and see how it can take us through this beautiful river. Some of you are on a river raft flowing through with life, feeling supported by this frequency above the current. And some of you are riding a magic carpet on the currents of the air, whether you are in the air or on the water. Just feel how this frequency is able to support you in your flow, in your beingness. Feel the effortlessness of this frequency. This word that you chose had a vibrational frequency that was able to float above or on the currents. Beautiful. And imagine reaching a place or space where you feel like you have arrived. And it is just this infinite space that your mind will imagine. Some of you are at a palace. Some of you are just at this space of pure whiteness. And I'm going to invite you to see a portal or a doorway. See, dream, imagine, visualize, just know it's there. And you can sense that beyond this doorway is the new expression and experience of your reality. This new level where you are in this new identity as someone who is stepping into this new level of mastery with more devotion to self, to selfless service, to self, so that you can be of service to others and be in flow and be in alignment. And I want you to imagine what that's going to feel like. Imagine what it will feel like in your body. And I'm going to invite you to step through the portal or the doorway. And as you do, feel all of these codes of mastering the alchemy of transmuting moment to moment so that you can remain in flow more often, so that you can cultivate the practices that will support you. And if you fall out of the flow, you can get right back in. All of these things, we're asking them to be integrated into your beingness, body, mind, heart, and soul, with as much speed and grace as the human can allow, but as much peace as your body requires. Beautiful. So just feeling all of that energy swirl down from your crown all the way through your body and into the earth. Feel your team give you a hug, a celebration for this intention of creation, creating more flow, more abundance, more ease, more grace, more possibility, and more room for you to play as a co-creator in this life. And just blink your eyes open after you take a moment to give yourself a hug and feel your body, feel your energy field. Give yourself some gentle touch. Let me know if you are back. Let me know if you could feel that flow. And one thing that I didn't speak into, because I didn't want to take anyone out of the visualization, of the imagination, of that activation of the flow, was the frequency word that your soul gave you was something that had a frequency of possibility. It was one of those frequency bandwidths up here. And if you were looking from the mind level, if we were taking something from the subconscious, it could have been a frequency word that would drop you like a stone to the bottom of the river, the bottom of the current, where you would feel like you were drowning, right? If the frequency that you were embodying was I can't, or like sorrow, rage, fear, guilt, all of those things, those have a heavier frequency. But when we're in the soul alignment place and space, then the frequencies that soul share tend to be ones that are like, yes, you can. They're abundance and grace and possibility and miracles and beingness and all of that. So, beautiful. People are saying, thank you, feeling magical, feeling sparkly. This flow, this radiance, this magic comes easily and effortlessly to you when you do practices that allow you to tap into this. So we're coming to the end of the official 3 days of this Divine Alchemy Masterclass, and I'm hoping that you have received some keys and codes and activations, but in a way that was an invitation. An invitation. You can take an invitation, you can take this invitation and say, yeah, I don't want to play that game. I think I would rather play in the old way. And that's fine, right? You can do that. Everyone can do that. But this was an invitation into stepping into this new world, this place and space where you are practicing and cultivating the discipline that you require to step into your mastery, so you can stay in your flow more and more and create what you are here to create, to be the love, to be the light, to be the whatever it is that your soul essence is here to share with the world. And I am going to drop 2 things into your field as well today. So number 1 is, I feel like this conversation is not quite complete. So I am going to schedule on Monday around noon an alchemy round table where I'm going to bring in some beautiful beings that I know to speak on a panel, a round table about alchemy, to give some concrete examples for you of how this works in the human reality, because we've been playing in this imaginal realm, which is the energetic, but to give you some concrete examples of what it looks like to embody this at the next level. I'm also going to share with you an invitation on Tuesday. I want to share something new. I'm going to share my apothecary. I might not even be pronouncing that correctly, but like my medicine cabinet of all of the different ways that you can play, that you can work with me, the little ways, the big ways, and all of that, right? Very similar and inspired by Melanie Ann Layer's Shop With Me. I want to lay it out because I am very multidimensional, multi-passionate. I know we have a group of people here who have different needs and different things, and this would be an opportunity for you to check out the bazaar, the market, the wares, all of the different ways that we could play together. And we have 2 new ways that are coming up that are available that I want to share with you where we could play. If you are like absolutely loving the work that we are doing in this class, if you like the tones, my voice, the ways that I pull things through, if you resonate with it and you would like to go further, I am going to share with you 3 ways to play the Trinity right now. And so something that is new that's been on my heart for a while is being able to share with you just activations where we go in and we do, like, you know, that little visualization we did on day 1 and just now, like that, but deeper, bigger, better, soul journeys that will support you in realigning your frequency with your soul, right? Aligning to the frequencies of abundance. And these would be bi-weekly soul journeys that I will share in a new membership called Frequency. Going to be $44 if you would like to do a monthly, bi-weekly activations of frequencies with me. It also includes a library of belief repatternings and light language and ceremony and other tools that you can use to shift your frequency anytime. But our live calls, which would also be available on the replay, would be following the energy of the seasons and where we're at energetically on the earth to move density, do some alchemy, and then go deep into a visualization where we can do whatever needs to happen to bring more of your soul into your body. And there is a path where you can try it out, you can cancel anytime. And I'll also be speaking into that more often and going like, hey, this is what's happening this month. That's something where doors are going to open. And I intend this to be something that people can flow with. Just a place for me to put my most woo magical experiences. That is something that people could pop in or out of. But I also love containers that are like profound. And I mentioned yesterday, Nicole actually mentioned Evolve as a container that helped her get the practices that she needed, the discipline, the consistency to make the mystical practical so that she could get clarity on who she was here to serve, what she was here to do, and actually show up and do it in a consistent way and embody her soul frequency on her entrepreneurial journey. So not everything I do is for entrepreneurs. Sometimes, it's just like, let's do magical, fun activations and clearings and stuff. Evolve is for the person who is a visionary and knows that there's something to create on their heart, where it's a multidimensional mastermind experience that's going for 3 months, about 90 days, arcing over December, January into February, so that we could get so crystal clear with our soul vision and our cosmic trajectory that we can get like aligned with what we're really here to create in this new energy, because the world has shifted. We're at that next level, and we're going to go through all kinds of like clearings, activations, but also group coaching and connections in the community with the mastermind specifically for our conscious creator, soulpreneur, visionary vision. So this is really more specifically for people who are already in business or feel like they're just on the cusp of this. And I'm not teaching business per se, though I do have programs that do that, like teach you how to coach, how to facilitate, how to build a business. This is more about the energetic and frequency attunement so that you can be so aligned with your soul and you have enough space in your body to live and work and breathe and move and create in your business from that soul aligned place of possibility to the highest timeline, and not the playing small energy that maybe you've been stuck in. And it's going to be so much fun. I just love the mastermind group community containers. They're so much fun, so much fun. I'm also going to say I do have space available in my higher level mentorship, which, by the way, would include frequency and evolve, right? The membership and the mastermind. This higher level alchemy is a luxury experience of coming into the container of alchemy with me, where we're working both behind the scenes in the energetics as well as one-to-one in calls like these over a 3-month period to start. And that is pretty much undescribable, but it's where we can go in and tinker with anything that is in the way of your soul liberation, right? For you to fully live in that soul energy and feel that freedom to create and then fly from there. So, just to really share for the visual learners, I'm actually going to pull up the visual here so that you can see it. Oh, and you know what? Let me see. And I will put this, of course, in the group as well. I meant to download it from Canva before, but let me just share my screen. And you can just see here. So here, all of the Zoom is holding me back from making it bigger and just presenting it like that. So we have, maybe I could hit present. There we go. That was so much harder than it should have been. So this is the trinity of ways you can currently play with me. And I will share links in the group if you want to go deeper. If you're like, more, please. Yes, more of this, please. So frequency could be $44 a month, or the annual fee if you want to go all in for a year. All the activations that I do in this membership, where we clear things out, alchemize density, soul journeys, $44 a month or $444 for the year. So you get 2 months free. And yeah, it is clearings, activations, upgrades. Activate the tools to fine-tune your frequency for your soul evolution, not specifically for entrepreneurs. This is for anyone that wants to play. But my other places and spaces, we have the mentorship, the Alchemy, which is in all USD, by the way, because we do have a global program here, global community. So we begin with 3 months of mentorship. And this is a luxurious support where you have me in your back pocket on WhatsApp and Messenger or wherever you want to connect, where you can ask me questions as they arise instead of having to wait. And I don't like playing in one-off sessions very much because I like to do the arc, the hero's journey, and get you from point A to point B to embody your soul frequency and then fly from there. Because most of my clients are like, 3 months was not enough. Let's play now that I feel like I can really fly. So that includes all of the frequency and evolve coming up here. And then evolve. Evolve is the pop-up multidimensional mastermind for soulpreneurs to be able to consciously create in their soul aligned business. You get frequency as well. And I think I'm going to give away a whole year of frequency with Evolve. Now, there are payment plans available. Not everything needs to be pay in full whatsoever. And I will share the links below. If any of these interest you, you can also just message me if you're not sure what is the thing for you. I'm going to post this in the group as well, of course. And there is a question just here from Hope. What do we have access to in frequency? So it is the just a new creation of bi-monthly calls, live or the replays, where we'll be going on soul journeys together, right? Alchemy, moving, creating whatever needs to be cleared out, then creating the space. We're going to mostly be aligning with powerful days of the year. So we will have one call at the beginning of December to really support people in fine-tuning their frequency to soul. And I'm going to take you into the control room of your brain, of your beingness, so you know how to adjust the controls yourself. We'll be working on 12/12. We'll have a solstice ceremony. Sometimes we'll play with new moons and full moons and other portal days. And there is a library of belief repatterning, pre-recorded places and spaces as well to support you to tap into anytime. And as we go and as we grow, there will be all of the replays from the different soul journeys. So we can talk about it in the DMs too if you have more specific questions. That is a new offering, and it is just with me. This is a solo adventure, not aligned with what we did in the playground previously. As much as I loved co-creating in the playground, this is just my work here. And so same thing with Evolve and Alchemy. We would be working in community with my keys and codes and all of the co-creations that come in community. So I am going to share more in the Alchemy Roundtable. They'll have some chances to tell you stories for programs that they are in, things that they have done. People are coming to speak who worked with me in one-on-ones, in masterminds, in other community places and spaces. And I'm excited to continue the conversation there. And of course, there's more. So we will have the Apothecary Market on Tuesday as well. But really, for today, I want to invite you to think about what you have done with your soul work on, well, yesterday, whenever yesterday was for you. I was going to say Wednesday, but maybe you did not do it on Wednesday. Maybe you're watching on the replays. Your soul invitation was to think about when you've been in flow, how you got there, and also what your life could possibly be like if you were able to live and create your business from more of that flow space, right? It takes the practice, it takes the consistency, it takes the discipline, and I will finish with this. It takes taking your own medicine So this is the next piece and the final piece I will leave you with. You have magic keys inside you, tools that you've studied with. I called in people that already had this magic in them. Your next level for you is to take your own medicine at a deeper level. So if you teach, breath work, it's to do the breath work. If you teach alchemy, if you play with alchemy, it's to do the alchemy, right? But not for other people, not in spaces where you are doing it for others. That's where you're giving and you're being of service. Your next level available to you is, and to solidify your flow, to do more alchemy and embody your soul frequencies. Your next level of abundance and magic and possibility and connection and peace and flow and like all of those frequencies that you want to inhabit more of, because you have this desire, I know, to play feeling expanded instead of contracted, is to take that medicine consistently on a more regular basis and to make yourself a priority. To make yourself the priority. Okay. This is the invitation. You don't have to take it or leave it. You might say, no, I'm not ready, and that's fine, but I hope it plants seeds for you to connect with what you do for other people and pour it all over you. So I'll leave you with this story. When I had to 0 point everything over the summer because there's a lot of shifts and changes that needed to occur. So I went into this cocoon. And I let everything go. I wasn't taking on new clients. I wasn't launching new programs. I 0 pointed everything. And I went through this deep alchemy chemical process of releasing what was the old way of being, where I did for others first. And I also had this thought. It's like, ready to expand in my business. There's a new level available to me. Who is the version of me who makes, what's a new level? $30,000 a month. Effortlessly on repeat. What does she do? And I had this experience, and we're going to do this in Evolve, by the way. I'm going to get you to connect with your future self to embody her now. This is inside Evolve, and we can do this in our one-on-one work as well. But I created this wormhole between her DNA and my DNA and received all of the coding about what she would do, how she shows up, and how she would be, how she would move with the world. And instantly I was like, oh, she takes her own medicine first before talking to anyone else. She just does things for herself at the next level instead of doing it in service to others. She gives to herself so freaking much that she is an overflowing abundance. She does ceremony for herself, breath work, voice, meditation, play, instead of just doing it in her client sessions, right? The first month and a half that I instituted it, I had, it wasn't a $30,000 a month, but I made, my highest month yet in the mid, like 25K, simply by shifting my energy and being the person who is an energetic match for receiving more. Take a breath into that. I didn't offer really any new programs. I launched like one thing. And actually fewer people signed up for that thing than ever before. But somehow I was an energetic match for more than I'd ever had before because I was giving myself more than ever before. And I have done this in the past to get to different levels. That's how I got to like 10K. And then I'm like, oh, and then that's how I got to the next level. And the next level is, who is this person? How do I embody her now instead of waiting? How do I take that future version of me and make her me now? How do I embody that wisdom? And I have practices, meditations and activations to support my clients to do that in their own way instead of trying to copy someone else's, like, make 10K system instructor. That's not how I play. How can we do this for you and take all the coding that of the future self, the you that already exists, and bring it into the now so you can embody it, body, mind, heart, and soul, and aligned action. And it's so much fun. So if something like that is interesting to you, we're going to play with that in Evolve and Alchemy. And I'm so excited to continue the conversation with our Alchemy Roundtable on Monday. So stay tuned for that. I'll create an event. I'll share the link. I'll do all of that. Message me if you're ready to play. message me on Facebook or email, whatever feels great. And I will support you in understanding where the best fit for you would be. Happy to jump on a call and play in that way as well. And for now, if you are in the US, happy Thanksgiving this weekend. I always forget about that. And I didn't mean to do, this isn't like a Black Friday sale. It just was the timing of everything that I'm dropping. So if you are a person who lives in the US, happy Thanksgiving. And to everyone else and people in the US, happy new moon. Enjoy your life in flow at this new level, new embodied expression of your magic by leveling up your ability to be alchemists in the moment and use your tools before you need them and as you need them, as well as after the fact. I love you so much. This has been so much fun. Thank you for being here with me. And I'm sending you all just a transmission of heart energy. We'll see you soon.